I'm Peter Dongus, and I'm CSA's Regional Director for New South Wales and the ACT. Today we hope to provide you with enough information to give some context on CSA's current brand repositioning and naming project, and maybe answer a couple of your questions along the way. Here with me I have Wendy Wills, CSA's 2013 President, and Tim Sheehy, CSA's Chief Executive. Wendy, if I can turn to you first, can you give us a brief overview of how and why we initiated this project?
Thank you, Peter. The board of CSA took the decision to look into the necessity to rebrand and rename our organisation back in June 2012. We recognised that the organisation has evolved and grown beyond educating and representing people in our traditional area of company secretarial practice to a far wider involvement in those roles and responsibilities in the wider area of governance and risk management. Initial research revealed what we suspected to be the case, that our name no longer fully describes the members we currently represent, or indeed the training, education and ongoing professional development we provide.
So why are we undertaking this project now?
Well, our markets have changed over the past decade, and our name no longer reflects what we do, who we are educating and training, and who we ultimately represent when they join our membership. There is also an increasingly inaccurate and outdated perception by many external parties that, largely due to our name of Chartered Secretaries Australia, that we only represent company secretaries. Though still an incredibly important part of our membership, those with a dedicated company secretary role currently represent just 13% of our overall membership. Many others have company secretarial practice as part of their role, but also have a wider governance and risk management responsibilities. In many organisations, these members' actual title might be CFO, CEO, General Counsel, or even Chief Risk Officer. So this is why we need to change our name, to better reflect our overall membership. And that is why the board formally decided at the September meeting last year to commence this project.
Tim, if I can turn to you now, what has happened since the board decided to go ahead last September?
Well, we've been busy, Peter, I can assure you of that. We knew that because this project was so important to us and so many multifaceted aspects of it, we had to find what we thought would be the very best branding agency we could work with. So we set out to do that, and we found an organization called Folk, and we've been working with them ever since. So the first step was the research phase, and that was surveys of our members, our staff, and various layers of outside stakeholders. We also did an audit of exactly where we were, how we were positioned, what we looked like, and then we looked at our competitors and how we sat vis-a-vis those competitors. We took that information and used that as the basis of a number of focus groups that we conducted early this year in February and early March. And that again was with more members and stakeholders. And that allowed us to settle on what positioning we thought best brought our members together, what bound them, who our real target markets were, and importantly, what we should call ourselves. So we went to the board in March, we took that to them, they agreed on how we should describe ourselves and what the name should be. And ever since then, we've been working through the legal issues around that, planning the rollout of it, the communication program, etc. So since September, we've been very busy.
So Wendy, what's in this project for members?
Well, Peter, all members will benefit from having a better positioning for our organisation because it will better describe to the market what they stand for, and it will enable us to better tailor our services as a result. Obviously, the new name will underpin this also. We will ensure that members' interests and concerns relevant to their professional roles and responsibilities are more accurately addressed. Our new positioning will help to better represent their long-standing commitment to ensuring ethical decision-making whilst maintaining performance, from the board to the employee level in our own organisations. And it will be something that all our members can say, this represents me and my responsibilities.
And what's in it for other stakeholders, Wendy?
our advocacy will be relevant to a much wider range of regulators and commentators. At the moment, there's a general perception in the markets that we have a narrow focus on company secretarial practice only, which we know is just not the case. Our new name and positioning will help us become the first port of call for advice and comment on a far wider range of governance and risk management matters.
Tim, what's changing as a result of this project?
Well, obviously, if the members agree, the name of the organization will change, and we're all very excited about that. And of course, what comes with that is a change to the look of the organization. There'll be a change to its logo and so forth, and that's very important. But what's really important is what happens underneath that. And the biggest part of that is we have identified 3 key segments of our membership as a result of this exercise that we've gone through. Obviously, we have a very important segment called Chartered Secretaries. They're how this organization began, and they're a part of our membership that we want to continue to foster. And we'll be able to tailor our service to them much more clearly. Second, governance advisors. And those are the people that have joined our organization who have a wider area of responsibility in governance beyond company secretarial practice. And then the third target market group, our market segment, which is growing, is of risk managers. And that's what's caused us to create and introduce into the marketplace a new qualifying program for those people. So lots will change. But what is really important to emphasize is what will not change. And that is our relationship with the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators in the United Kingdom. We will continue to have the same relationship with them in the future that we have now. And that means those members who call themselves Chartered Secretaries will continue to be able to call themselves Chartered Secretaries. Those members who use the postnominals of FCIS and ACIS will continue to be able to use those postnominals. Those important things do not change. And finally, what does not change is our commitment to our professionalism and to delivering our members the very best in services they need to advance their careers. Those do not change.
Now, Wendy, on to a question that I think many of our members will be asking. When do we get to hear the new name?
I knew that question was coming, Peter. We will be informing members of the new name in a notice of meeting delivered to all members in mid-August for a general meeting to be held on 20th of September. We have not been in a position to tell members the new name before this time, as there are many legal and due diligence checks to be carried out on usage of the name and also the associated branding and web addresses. As we want all members to receive this information at the same time, it is good practice to do this in a notice of meeting, rather than have rumours and scuttlebutt being leaked on information that is either inaccurate or not legally finalised.
Wendy and Tim, thank you for taking the time to give us an insight into this important project, which will define the future of our organisation. In the meantime, if you have any questions about this project, please feel free to email us on ourfuture@csaust.com or call us on 1-800-251-849. Thank you for taking the time to watch this today. Goodbye.